Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Creative Tavern. My name is Christopher Lee. I'm a concept artist. I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. Work with companies such as Walt Disney Imagineering as well as Universal Studio Creative. And I'm here today with my buddy Michael Welker. Hello, Michael.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Wilker. I'm a creative technologist and writer. And for the last several months, actually, I'm going to back up a little bit and tell the full story. About a year ago, Chris and I said, hey, we're in between projects right now because we used to work together in the theme park industry. Why don't we do a personal creative project together, just the two of us? We'll put our heads together and come up with something. We spent 6 months in blue sky and concept, came up with a whole bunch of ideas, maybe some of which you'll see in the future.
Mm.
But we had to pick one thing to do, and so we settled on learning how to make a video game, something neither of us had ever done before. Then we spent 6 months doing that, and we completed that project at the tail end of last month. Project Rail Shooter. We
Yeah.
basically made an entire rail shooter video game in Unity, a prototype at least, because we'd never done one before, and it took a lot longer than we anticipated to complete.
It was a lot of
Um,
work.
a ton of work, but one of the other things that we did 6 months ago when we set out to do that project is to document that work. We wanted to create a place where other people can have a window into our creative process and watch us make creative projects and see how we do it. As people who come from uh, a with a professional creative background in a creative industry, we thought this would be really interesting for people. And at the same time, Chris and I also kind of missed the sort of like collaborative team environment where we could work with other
Mm-hmm.
creatives. And that was something that was important to us. So the Creative Tavern was born. And to tell you more about that, I'm going to hand it back to Chris.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, the Creative Tavern is what was created for people like me and like Michael and like you if you're creative. It's a place where people could, just gather and share their art. And if you have any, any projects that you want to share with us, share with the whole community, you are definitely more than welcome to come here and, share. Because this is a platform for us, is also a platform for you. It's a platform for anyone actually, I always say creative. Creative or non-creative people. For creative people who like to create stuff and non-creative people who likes creative stuff. So anyone who's anyone is welcome here. And we do have a Discord. So on every Sunday, which is today, we will take a look at your guys' amazing work. And I've already went ahead and entered in our social media link. So go ahead and give a click right there, as well as our game. So if you guys want to play the game, feel free to check out that link in the Dropbox.com. And yeah, thank you again, Michael, for sharing that. So yes, the Creative Tavern. Please, thank you so much for being here. And please, join us because we are very very happy to have people such as Gentleman Heavy, Light Off, and Captain Blue Blue, and Hototo. We kind of established this channel like 6 months ish ago, and we met some pretty cool people in here, and I'm very very grateful for each and every one of these individuals because it's a Twitch has a huge community, but the people that is in here is means a lot to us. So thank you again for watching and hanging out with us, you guys. Yeah. Michael, am I missing anything?
Uh, Not from the general spiel, but I do have one more thing that I wanted to
Yeah,
add.
please.
Um, Since we started the channel, we did the rail shooter project that took up the majority, well, that took up all of the previous 6 months. And since that has been completed, we decided we were going to take a little bit of a break and do some other fun things, which we also recommend you do. If you're doing anything creative, it's important to take a break.
Mm.
And in our break time, Chris and I are talking about where we want the Creative Tavern to go in the future, what kind of things we think we might be doing, but we also want to know what you think. We would love to get your input and feedback to kind of help us shape the direction for the Creative Tavern in the future. So we created a survey, which Chris has graciously linked in the chat. So if you would be so kind, we would love it if you could click that link, take that survey. It should only take like 5 minutes or less. It's really, really quick. But it basically will just give you like a list of like, hey, what about this sort of a thing? Like, would you like us to see us make another video game, or how about some other creative projects, or maybe a book club? And then there's also a space in there where you can write in something else. If you're like, all that stuff sounds kind of interesting, but what I really would love to see is XYZ. So feel free to take a look at that survey and let us know what you think. We would love to get your feedback, and you can help potentially shape the direction of where we go from here.
Yeah.
No promises on anything that you see in there. This is all just kind of getting our feelers out there and saying like what you guys are interested in, because we obviously don't want to do something that the community just isn't
Has
interested
no
in,
interest.
especially if
Right.
it's something that takes a lot of work, like
Yeah.
making a video game. Yeah, so the survey, please take a look and let us know what you think.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Michael, for putting that together. And what you shared with me is very, very interesting. Some of you guys are interested in things that we didn't think you guys were interested in, and the things that we thought you would be interested. You guys are maybe not so interested. So it's good. It's good to get your guys' feedback because yeah, I mean, we don't want to work in a vacuum. We want to get some good feedback and responses from you guys. So yeah. All right. Michael, let me ask you this question. Do you want to what's better? Do you think we should take a look at the art first? Spend a little bit of time on the art so that we don't get distracted by the ranking of the MCU movies, or do we make a hard stop at like 9:30 and be like, all right, we're done, we're done, we're gonna talk about art now.
Well, I would like to do art first, but
What?
I also feel like it's I feel like it's more like polite or logistically feasible to do it at the end. That way, when people jump on, we can say, "Hey, we're doing art. Like, make sure you get your art in before the end of the show." That way, people
Yeah.
still have an opportunity to get it in. But I mean, if we have enough that's already in there, like we could just do it now, and then anything that comes in afterwards, we'll just do next time.
Yeah. So let me take a look at it right now. So, one sec. Oh
Sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. Heavy just put some stuff in. Uh
Unloaded.
oh God, that's so good. All right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look now. And then if anyone else puts in some more later on, we'll take a look at that. So, is that okay, Michael?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, go. Give me one second. Share screen. Screens, and yeah, you guys feel free to put all your amazing artwork in the thing. Don't look at that. Don't look at it. It's a secret. It's a secret.
Oh, missed it.
Uh, all right. All right. All right.
Ooh.
That's so cool. God, that's so cool, man. All right. No. We're going up top first.
In order.
In order. In order. All right. Um, did we take a look at this at all, Michael? I don't remember.
I
Maybe I
can't remember either.
Maybe I saw this on my stream, and doesn't matter.
And
Let's just
I
take it.
can't remember which ones I've looked at personally when I just like went into the Discord versus
Yeah,
ones we've covered on stream. So maybe I
yeah.
should not go into the gallery until we're on
Until,
stream. Then
yeah.
then I'll be able to tell you for sure, like, oh yeah, we didn't see that one. And then I can
I
react fresh.
I definitely know I saw this already. I just don't know if we talked
Man,
about it. But oh my God, man,
that's
this
awesome.
yeah. Gentleman Heavy, you are truly a master of these miniature paintings. Look at the detail here.
I know. That's crazy.
Oh God, that's. Yeah, because I asked him like, "Oh, how did you paint this?" But then he told me it was like a stencil.
Yeah.
No, not stencil. It's a water. It's like a little sticker that you could stick right
Oh,
on the model.
cool.
Yeah, it's a application I don't know what the right word is. Gentleman Heavy, feel free to correct me, educate me. Heavy says I slapped it in at the last minute last stream, then put it in on Lee's server. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. This is again,
Yeah, this
man.
is
This
super cool.
Yeah, I talked about it on one of my streams. I don't remember which one, but I was like super blown away with just how small and detailed. And he
I
said a
know.
water water transfer sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you.
you have to use like, and maybe this is the old man in me, but do you have to use s- like special glasses with like magnifying lenses to be able to like see in such small details and like really get in there heavy? Or do you just have
I
like amazing binocular vision eyesight? And
I I
I'm
think he
turning into an
does.
old man.
I think he has like specialized glasses for looking at detailed stuff. I don't know. He can answer.
Gotcha.
But I think you remember telling me that he actually has some nice glasses that he uses.
Cool.
But yeah, this is freaking amazing, dude. Every time I see like a new thing, I'm like blown away. All right. All right, next we have some drawings from Embalmed Apple, and I want to say this is, oh God, I
I love
didn't
how
realize
creepy it
it.
is.
Yeah, it's
With the eyes or mouths.
yeah. I didn't notice that until like a third read. I'm like, what the world? It's
It's creepy.
it's creepy. Hold on. Oh God. Oh God.
Creepy for Halloween.
Heavy says, yeah, sometimes yes. I got a pair of jeweler's lenses that has like 5 drop down
Mm,
lenses on the side. That is so cool.
wow.
That's
Cool.
that's like that's very steampunkish. Like, it's like
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. Uh yeah, that's awesome. This embalmed apple, this is really really good. And this again, I'm pretty certain that this was done traditionally because I can see the areas. Yep, I mean, I can
Marker
see the textures.
strokes.
Yep, yep.
Which actually, I mean, those marker strokes are pretty clean because
Hmm.
if you just go in there all willy-nilly, it looks like crap.
Yeah,
'Cause I've done that. So kudos to you for having such clean line work in your,
yeah,
you know, in the darkened black areas. And the lighting on
yeah.
this is really great. Like, oh, this
Hmm.
is chiaroscuro, Chris. Um,
Oh, okay, okay.
like super strong contrast between the light and the dark areas.
Right, right. Okay, this is Kurosawa. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, it's really well done. Like I mean, this can be like graphic print. It's like
Yeah.
there's very very. I was gonna say there's very little, but actually there's no gradation at all. It's just solid black and white if you squint your eyes,
Hmm.
right? And a little dab of red dots, which always adds characteristics as details. Like I love seeing stuff like this, little
Me
dots right
too.
there. It looks so good. That's very very good.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Gives you
much,
texture.
Apple. Exactly. And this is so creepy. Ah, jeez.
Yeah, very creepy. If, set out to make something creepy for Halloween.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. This is cool too.
So is this a knight uh skeleton knight maybe? Like a king
Yeah, that's how I would
that's
have read it.
yeah.
Because you've got like I mean, it's got a skull on it, but that chest piece looks like a bit of armor, and then almost looks like he's got chainmail coming down that left
Mhm.
arm.
Mhm. 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 I mean his chest piece also kind of looks like a skull too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's definitely. Maybe this is like, I don't know, a necromancer knight or something.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Yeah,
this
it's
is,
cool.
oh God, if you zoom in on this. Oh shit. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Wow, my computer is so slow when it comes to like sharing stuff. I don't know. Ever since I updated the OBS, everything got a little bit slower. It's definitely
No.
more stable, but it lags. Look at all the little details here.
Yeah.
Look at all those tiny circles that she has to draw. God, it's a pain in the ass. But she
Yeah.
did it. All the cross hatching.
Yep. Nice texture in there. Looks
Yeah.
like a ballpoint pen, probably. That's one of the things that's really cool about ballpoint pen compared to like a lot of other ink
Mhm.
uh instruments, utensils,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, is because of the like how rough and globular the ink can get at the tip. You can actually almost like fade the same way you can with like a pencil,
Yeah.
where you can just like do these wispy little strokes, and then you can press really hard to get like a nice thick line. So that's one of the things I think is super cool about ballpoint pens is you can get that
Yeah.
almost like a graphite pencil
Hmm.
sketch
Hmm.
kind of a feel
Yep. It's
sometimes.
just you can't erase it. You're once it's down, it's
Yeah,
down. Yeah,
you're committed.
I'm not a committed artist anymore. Ever since I started using Photoshop, I'm just like, goodbye, real world. Hello, digital world.
Need
All
that
right.
Control Z.
Yep. This, of course, was painted by June Alice Art, and she did this as a commission piece for King Cass. I believe this is his
Oh, cool.
brother who is in the military, and so he commissioned her to do a portrait painting of him. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it looks. I mean, kind of hard to tell because there's nothing in the or there the little bit in the frame to reference like relative size. I can't really tell, but this looks big.
Yeah.
Looks pretty
It
big to
it
me.
is. It is pretty big. I mean that's like a standard like I don't know 2 by 2 inch decal sticker.
Oh wow, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Then yeah, this is
So
huge.
yeah, it is pretty big, and you could kind of tell it by
Oh,
the
by the grain of the
grain. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
June, you
this
gotta
is
take a better
awesome.
photo. June, you please take a better photo of this because your your camera is not doing any justice for your amazing painting.
And it still looks amazing though.
I know. Yeah, she's really good with like highlights and shadows and everything. God,
Hmm.
and it's all traditional too, so very awesome
Mad Pro.
stuff, man. Yeah. Yeah, I love seeing your guys' work. It inspires me. Inspires me. Makes me jealous too. Feathery Justice. Let me go ahead and open this up as the original. Oh, hold on. What was the original? What did she say?
Uh,
Uh, a healthy reminder to people to keep on practicing. I redraw a character from 2010, and no matter how slowly, or if you don't see your own improvement, it is there. Just keep trying. Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me do this. So this was from
yeah, you got
2010.
got the original up there, and then the new one.
That's very cute. And then the new one. Yeah, it's there's definitely improvement.
Yeah, huge improvement.
Yeah.
Like the anatomy, the pose, the perspective on the mallet,
Mhm.
the character's expression. Yeah, I was really impressed. And super and also I loved seeing these things like the before and after the progress photos of
Mhm.
like, where an artist was and where they are now.
Yeah.
Um, because it takes a long time and a lot of drawings to improve your skill even a little bit. Um, and so it can often be very difficult to tell how much you have progressed and how much you've improved, and to get discouraged along the way. So
Yeah.
seeing these are always super cool and like reinvigorate um, my confidence and yeah, just one step at a time. Just
Right.
keep trucking, and
Right,
eventually
right.
you're gonna make progress.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about mileage. Hey, Captain Blue Blue, so good to see you here. Welcome aboard. Hello. We're actually looking at some art right now. So if you have anything you want to share, feel free to upload it in Discord, and we'll take a look. Don't be super rushed because if you don't have time, if anyone else has some stuff, we'll take a look at the end of the show as well. But I wanted to make sure not to rush, so we want to go ahead and take a look at it right now in the beginning of the show. But yeah, this is a Feathery Justice, and yeah, this looks great. Uh, yeah, I'm a little bit jealous because having nice anatomy, stylized anime anatomy is I struggle with that even till this day. Struggle. I hate the struggle. The struggle is real. Oh, by the way, I was educated by Leidos. Apparently he is improving at such a fast rate is because he has a catalyst. He's using a catalyst, and I am very curious as to how I might acquire this catalyst to make me into a better artist. What I'm talking about is weed, getting high slash stoned,
Oh.
and then become
Hmm.
an amazing artist. All right.
Yeah, like probably like removes the inner critic and inhibition and allows you to just like
Yeah,
just feel it, go with it.
yeah. Yeah, like I was streaming on Friday, and then Light and some other someone else. Ah, God, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But yeah, both of them, they're like, yeah, like when you're like stone slash high, your creativity flows and you become a better artist. I'm like, oh God, I gotta get some of that too. So
Yeah, some writers say that too, that they can only write when they're under the influence.
right. But that's not the best scenario is because if you want to write ever anything good, then you're kind of dependent on a substance, right? And the substances cost money, and you guys know I'm a cheap mofo, so I don't like to spend money on stuff. Maybe once in a while, just to get the experience. Because yeah, I was telling them, Michael, I've never ever been stoned in my life before. And
Hmm.
I asked them like, is it anything like getting drunk, like getting buzzed? And they're like, no, absolutely not. It's so different. So I was like, huh,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
same here. Never done drugs. I don't even think I've ever been drunk. I have had alcohol to the point where I was like buzzed, I think,
uh-huh,
but once, I think. That was one time.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I didn't like intend to drink. I was like at some restaurant or something, eating by myself. Um, and I don't know, the girl behind the counter either felt sorry for me or thought it was cute or something.
Ooh,
Was like, here's a
ooh,
beer. I was like, oh wow,
ooh.
and because it was free, like I couldn't
Yeah,
refuse. Well, I guess I could
right.
have,
Yeah,
but I was like, oh, I guess I'll drink this. And it was a big, tall thing, and if you don't
nice.
drink alcohol regularly, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it'll
It'll
really
get you.
kick you in the ass. So
Yeah,
I drank that and felt like, whoa.
yeah, yeah.
But
Wait, did you like that
yeah,
feeling?
not really. I felt like I was kind of nauseous and swimmy, but it was
Uh-huh,
like that plus a little bit of like an uplifted kind of a feeling, I guess.
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
N Nowhere near enough for me to go like, yeah, I'm gonna start drinking.
Right, right,
So
right,
I'm still very much of like, no alcohol, please.
right.
Not worth the hangover, not worth the damage to my liver and pancreas
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all that jazz. And
yeah.
sleep too. Apparently, alcohol is
Mm.
extremely bad for sleeping.
Oh God, like even like I get super drunk, I try to go to sleep, I can't fall asleep. Like my body is super tired, but my mind is like racing at 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and I can't hit that REM, or if that's what that is, REM, the sleep cycle.
Hmm.
It's just my brain won't shut off, and then the next day it's like horrible hangover. Obviously this is like me just pounding a lot of beers and mixing alcohols and everything, which I've done once. There's one memorable night, and it's interesting that I actually remember everything. I
I was
drank
just gonna say, yeah.
I drank so much. It was like Irish car bomb. It was like whiskey, Guinness, and chocolate liqueur or something like that. It's all mixed in, and then I had like four of those within like 3 hours, and then I was just like, I had to like crawl to the bathroom because I couldn't stand up. This was all at a friend's place, so it was very very safe, and I felt
Good.
safe drinking, so it was nice. And I remember like standing up. You know how when you're about to puke, you puke in the toilet, right? But I
Hmm.
don't know why I stood up and puked in the sink instead when the toilet was right there. And then my friend the next morning, he's like, "Why the hell did you puke in the sink and not in the toilet? Because it's harder to clean up and it's less gross." Anyways, I don't know why I started talking
Yeah.
about that, but yeah, drinking slash stoned. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Moving on, guys. Captain Boo Boo says, I don't only really drink until I get buzzed. I don't like losing control. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if I'm with good friends and buddies, then I don't mind drinking a little bit more because I like to hang out with friends. But if it's like coworkers, I don't really like to get super drunk and say the wrong shit. get canceled. But yeah, Heavy says, "Good Lord, Lee, are you sure you aren't half Irish with that drinking list?" Uh, no, I'm Chinese. Chinese people like to drink. The Asians, right? Because the whole stereotype Asians drink too. Yeah, and I guess we share something in common with the Irish. That's awesome. Okay, anyways, changing topic. We're looking at this super cute cat. It's also done by June. She says, birthday week. Every year we do a charity for stray cats. This year we chosen Gutter Kitties, which is a no kill cat rescue based in Auckland, New Zealand. If you donate to them, we will send you a gift sticker. The link will be in the comments below. Ah, that's cool. And I'm guessing this is one of them, and it is very adorable. So if you guys like little kitties, if you guys want to donate money to save little cats, feel free to check out June's post link right here. Yeah, and this is
Spectacular art.
yeah, I know, right? Again, she's amazing. Her stuff is really, really good. Very
And for a good
jealous.
cause.
Yeah,
That's doubly cool.
yeah, very cool. All right, moving on.
Cool.
Gentleman Heavy. All right, had a buddy over the weekend and we busted out a pair of custom 3D printed Parox. Thank you, Heavy, for splitting that for me because you know me, I would have been like, I don't know how to say this, but it's Parox. Infantry fighting vehicles. Got used to his professional grade camera to take some really nice finished pictures. Nice. And I also added a few work in progress for once. Yeah, thank you so much. Like work in progress are usually the best kinds of photos to see. So you're basically
Yeah.
working. Oh, you're using Vallejo paints. Nice. These paints are not cheap, by the way, in my
Oh,
opinion. That
cool.
they are not cheap. But so this is you
The
working.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
so
rad.
I think this is the 3D model, right? Or 3D. Yeah, the 3D model.
Oh, cool. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Hold on. Let me open up original. This is some pretty cool stuff. Hold on. Let me zoom in. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man.
These remind me a lot of Metal Slug. Did you ever play Metal Slug, Chris? Do
No, never
you
even
know
heard of
what
it.
I'm talking about?
No.
It's a arcade game. It's like a side-scrolling arcade game where you play this little guy who's like
Hmm.
shooting all these soldiers. It's pretty cool. Like, and it's got the art style is Japanese
Mm.
anime-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was really popular in the like 90s, but and they have vehicles and tanks and things. These are the models that Gentleman Heavy has here are a lot more realistic
Yeah.
than Metal Slug, but they have that kind of they're evocative in my mind of that same kind of aesthetic. Lots
Right,
of
right.
like this sort of kind of muted beige colors and big rivets everywhere and
Uh-huh.
lots of big guns and turrets and things.
Nice, nice. And Heavy says, "Love me some good old Metal Slug."
Yeah.
So he knows exactly what you're talking about. These are very cool. All right, let me close this and let me take a look at others too.
Oh, cool.
Whoa, look at this. That is so awesome.
Wow, with the like dirt and mud and stuff on the wheels and the undercarriage
Yeah.
as soon as it loads in.
Wow, look at
Bam.
that. Damn. Wow. Did you really just put like dirt on top of it? Because that's really working, man. Or is that
Yeah,
like,
it's got like fibers and, you know,
yeah,
chunks in it.
that looks really, really good. Wow.
Yeah, these are incredible, man.
I even got like the gunmetal texture paint. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, like kind of iridescent or something.
Yeah. Man, these are so cool.
Most excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good camera because I could tell it has a focus here and then has bokeh, like the blurriness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice. All right, let me take a look. Oh, here's the back. Oh shoot, original. And how did you get the again the dirt on the tires? Did you just go out and made some mud and put it on there? So curious. But yeah, this looks great, dude.
Yeah, this thing is fantastic.
It's like worn and stuff. Captain Blue says I doubt mud would stay on though. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's also very, very true. Heavy says it's an actual technical paint. Really fun to work with for trench lines and in the field minis. So that's
Cool.
paint?
Man,
Wow.
that chunky paint.
Yeah, holy cow. This is so cool, man. Yeah, I could just stare at this for hours. Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's
All,
awesome.
yeah, all the textures and everything. Yeah, good job, Heavy. Your work always, makes me want to do 3D models and paint. Ah, gosh. Yeah, he's like pro level now, man. Thank you, Heavy, for sharing this. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man. All right. Captain Blue Blue. Also put
Ooh.
this right here. Kevy says technical paints are far more effective, like mud, grime, snow, 3D effects.
Hmm.
I've I've never heard of technical paints before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Heavy,
me
do
either.
you do you mind putting like a link in the chat and then I can where I could learn more about this, or maybe like a site where you buy the paints because I've never heard of technical paints before. Uh, put it in the chat and I'll click on it and I'll save it and I will look at it whenever. Captain Blue, and thank you, Heavy. Captain Blue says, I think the images I got there are in reverse order. Okay, so let me hold on.
Ooh, wow. Start at the bottom and work our way up.
Yeah, let's
So
do that.
cool.
Ooh. This is called the Egyptian obelisk. Is that what it's called? Obelisk, right?
Yeah, that's what I would have called it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it looks like it's got pixel art, like pixel art hieroglyphs.
Yeah. All right.
Which,
Whoa.
by the way, fun, or maybe it's pedantic, really. Pedantic technical detail for you. Um, the correct term for the like Egyptian drawing writing is hieroglyph, not hieroglyphic.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah. The noun version is like, oh, we're reading Egyptian hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphic is like the adjective or adverb. It's like, like hieroglyphic writing. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So if you hear somebody saying like, oh, let me read the hieroglyphics, that's what normal people say, but
Yeah.
apparently actual Egyptologists will smack you on the hand and be like,
Yeah.
no, it's hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphs. Got it. Got it. Hieroglyphs. Yeah. The
No,
that
nobody here is gonna, care, but I just thought that was interesting and I would share.
no. It's always good because I like to learn and not to look like a fool in front of people. So that's a good tidbit. This is a texture map, a very very
Oh,
low res
cool.
texture map. You remember Michael when I had to paint
Mm-hmm.
texture maps for our game, and
Absolutely.
yeah, this is 16-bit or maybe an 8-bit version of the texture, and God, it's so tiny.
I bet 16-bit.
You think
I
so?
because 8-bit is like crazy low
Got
res.
it. Right.
Like 8-bit is like OG like Pac-Man and Mario.
Yeah, I think you're right. Uh,
16-bit was closer to like Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis and stuff.
yeah. Capital says the tile resolution is 16 by 16. Oh God, that's so tiny. That's so small.
But it looks so good.
It really does.
Look at that. Love it. Is this for well, maybe Captain Blue had mentioned it in the description. Is this for like a bigger project, Captain Blue, or is this just experimenting like, hey, I'm gonna do an Egyptian courtyard scene with an obelisk?
What did he say? A personal idea I had, not really a project though. I tried building as much as I could using squares for my geometry. Yeah,
Got it. Cool. Yeah, love it.
yeah. You've got a little palm tree there.
Kind
Sorry,
of
when I
reminds
look,
me a little bit of like, or go ahead, Chris.
no, I was gonna say when I look at this, it reminds me of Overwatch.
Temple of Anubis.
Yep. Oh, you were saying? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just it's saying that this reminds me a little bit of like I don't even know if they still sell them anymore, but Lego used to have this line of like
Hmm.
Egyptian adventurer Legos where this was before they actually had real Indiana Jones and Star Wars Legos. Like there was a time when Lego didn't have the rights to make those kind of sets, so they
Uh-huh.
created their own like Indiana Jones character who
Uh-huh.
was, you know, this I think he had black hair and a black mustache instead of brown hair and
Uh-huh.
you know
Uh-huh.
facial hair or like stubble. But anyway, and they had these like little sets where you would have just a couple of things like a palm tree and an obelisk and like a two little characters and maybe like a little jeep like a 1940s jeep or something like that. This is
Yeah.
kind of making me nostalgic for
Nice.
that time.
Captain Blue says, "Oh yeah, I
Oh
remember
my
that
gosh.
Lego set." There you go.
There you go.
He said I had it.
Wow. Great childhoods are alike, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's awesome.
That's super cool, man. Love it.
Yeah, this is a. I mean, it looks really simple, but man, like actually getting like simple things to work, like trying to make as little what is it faces and vertices and actually make it look good still. It's not easy at all.
Yeah. Yeah, pixel art's hard, man.
It really is. Heavy says I can link the usual place I get my technical and texture painting. It's from Games Workshop. The
Hmm.
stuff I used in my models, my buddies, and I don't know where he got his. Oh yeah, I mean don't you don't have to like dig for it or anything. But yeah, if there's any site that you know of, please just put the link there and I'll click on it and I'll save it. Because I'm so curious to how what paints you use. But yeah, this is very cool, Captain Blue Blue.
Yeah, rad. Love it.
Ooh, he did give me a site. Hopefully it's please load, please load. Oh God, this takes forever. Whenever I'm like streaming and streaming with you, streaming with oh sorry, that's so bright. Oh God. Oh God, I'm gonna so bright. Reject cookies. I don't want your cookies.
Yeah.
Taking photos
Wow,
restores makes
neat.
your models turning gritty. Grizzly gore, rust, or corrosion, or spectral glows. Each makes an eye-catching way to finish miniatures. Man, that is so
That's
cool.
so cool.
Armageddon Dust.
Armageddon Dust. These names are great.
Yeah. Armageddon Dunes. Uh, Alleg,
A, a
Alleg,
Grellion?
Agrelian?
I don't
Earth?
know what that is.
Badland. Oh, it's probably like a texture for like, the ground, like, for like dirt and stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty
well,
cool.
wait, is that what a Grellion is? I don't know what that word is.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it looks very texture-ish. Tutorial cracked ground.
Martian.
Ooh,
Neato.
what is
Yeah, do they also show like application? They must, right?
probably use technical paints to create eye-catching oh no.
Wow, cookies again. They really want you to have those cookies, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I'm full
Oh, that's
already.
so cool.
Whoa. Sorry. I kind of want to see this.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I want to see it too.
Oh.
Whoa, and then like when it dries, it
Oh, wow.
whoa, look at that.
Whoa. What?
Neat.
Oh, what? Oh, that's
Wow.
cool.
That's super cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh, a Grelin Badland. I thought that was an eye.
So you just apply it and then 90 minutes later or X amount of minutes later, it'll just, those kind of textures will just form.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
like real dried earth.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before. Heavy, thank you so much for sharing that, dude.
Yeah. And
God, this must.
amazing that like the two different you get the two different styles, the one that cracks in those sort of like geometric shapes and then the other one that kind of just cracks in lines.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so bright. And I'm gonna
Citadel color.
save in my desktop. Perfect. Heavy, thank you so much.
Well,
That was awesome.
yeah. Good share.
Yeah. And Captain Blue, thank you so much for sharing this little environment with us. That is so cool. Makes me want to play Overwatch. Although we don't have Temple of Nubis anymore. Uh,
Oh.
but but yeah. Heavy says, yeah, yeah. Captain Blue says it's basically paint mixed with sand and a fixer. Nice. Heavy says all the names are references to things in Warhammer. Captain Blue says these are also places in Warhammer universe. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's cool.
There you go.
Nice. We're getting educated. That's very cool. That's so very cool. Awesome. Awesome job, both you guys. Thank you, you two, for sharing your amazing work with us. Every time I see your guys' stuff, it makes me motivated to, create more fun things, whether it's 3D or actually painting, models.
Yeah.
Ah, God, it makes me want to paint so bad. But I have priorities. I have priorities. I gotta do stupid shit first, and then I can have fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. For those of you guys watching, if you have anything else you guys want to share, feel free to put it in the chat, and then we'll take a look at it later. All right. But for now we're going to dive into our. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Michael.
Uh quick I want to take a quick break before we dive
Ah,
into this. But if you want
okay.
to cue everybody up, I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay. So while Michael is taking a quick break, I will let you guys know what we've been doing for the past weeks, a few weeks now. Heavy says, if you want, I can grab a picture of my buddy's previous project that utilizes Brux technical paint. Yeah, I mean, if it's not too much trouble, I just want to see it because I've never ever seen any paints like that before. Holy cow, it looks so good. Um, yeah, this is my first time seeing like paints like that actually forms into like real textures. Holy crap, really really cool. All right, so this is our ranking of our MCU tier list. For every session, we basically, have ranked all the Marvel's movies up to Thor Ragnarok. And one of the reasons why we are doing this is because, Michael and I have been working on the video game for like 6 months straight, right? And it's a little bit tiring, so we don't want to just dive into another project. We want to kind of have fun, have fun a little bit, talk about movies, talk about, video games, and not just dive into like the next project. So, be committed to like the next 2 years we're gonna be doing, X amount of projects. But no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna have some fun first. And last week, or not last week, well, Wednesday, Michael and I actually put Thor Ragnarok on our S tiers. Thor Ragnarok right now is our number one movie in the MCU. It is like one of the best movie ever. And also also have like Guardians of the Galaxy up there. Michael has it in S tier, and I have it in the A tier. And the next, Michael, what was the other movie? Was it Spider-Man that we talked about as well?
Yes, Spider-Man:
Yeah, yeah,
Homecoming.
yeah. Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming. Um, yeah. And we said that the Spider-Man Homecoming poster is the absolute worst poster ever created by Marvel. Whoever is in charge of that, they should not be making any more posters for that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to run down everything. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go through this list, but I just want to let you guys know Thor Ragnarok is number one on our list right now. And tonight, the next movie we will be placing into this category is where is it? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever,
Bombay.
Ibambe. All right. There. So it looks good. Okay. All right. Michael, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
So I actually have a proposal to do something a little bit different tonight,
Okay,
but
sure.
maybe for the next movie because, well, we can see. But here's my proposal. Um, at least for the next movie for sure. Instead of us like taking turns, like one of us talks about it and then ranks it, and then the other one talks about it and ranks it, because I went back and watched both of these, for this movie and the next one, and the next one after that. And I've got notes, and I've got a lot of notes for the next movie.
Perfect. Sweet.
Um, so what I think might be more interesting is if we go through, and especially because for the next movie they're almost in chronological order of the movie.
Mhm.
I can just tell you like, oh yeah, I wrote a note about this thing. What'd you think about that, Chris? And like,
Mhm.
oh
Mhm.
okay, cool. Here's what I thought about that. Blah 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 blah
Sure,
blah.
sure.
And then we can kind
Sure.
of just like go through all that, and then when we get to the end, we're like, okay, with all that said, what's your ranking? And I'll tell
Yeah.
you what mine is.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Okay,
sounds good.
so
That sounds good.
okay, cool. Um, then let's definitely do that for the next one, Infinity War. For Black Panther, I don't have like chronological notes, but I've got a decent amount of notes, but not nearly
Mhm.
as much.
Mhm.
So we can do the traditional way for Black Panther, or we can do the new way. What would you prefer?
Let's do the new way. Let's do the new way. I think
Okay,
that's we'll go ahead and kick it off like right now.
perfect. Okay, great. So Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and I'm gonna butcher her name, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, perfect.
Did I get
I
it?
think yeah, I
Great.
think you got that. Yep.
So one of the first things that I put here as sort of like a plus is I said part of peak MCU, meaning like among the, like this is where MCU like really hit their stride. Um, what do you think about that? Do you agree with that, Chris? Do you think this is like on the bell curve at the like the top of MCU
Yeah, I
content?
yes, absolutely. I think this was a I don't know if I should say like cultural phenomenon. I don't know if that's the right
Mm-hmm.
statement or not, but I mean, Marvel didn't really have like a, movie just for, the African American black folks, it's usually just, you know, very generic, right? But this one actually, celebrates, this fictional world that is, has black representation, which is awesome. And yeah, the answer is yes. I totally agree with you. This is one of the peak amazing movies that Marvel has made, alongside with a few others. But this one definitely culturally it has a huge significance. I know that like all like little black girls, little black boys, they just looked up to Plan Panther and they're like Wakanda forever, and they know that they have their own superhero, so that is like amazing as a movie.
Yeah. So two things. One, like by the time we get to the end of the MCU tier ranking thing, I think you're going to see a pretty clear pattern from me
Hmm.
where most of the like really good MCU movies all clustered together in the release timeline.
Hmm.
Um, but so there's that. Yeah, I think, and I totally agree. I think this is part of like peak MCU with obviously the previous movies both got S tiers from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll see if that continues. But the other thing too, like I've got some pretty strong opinions about race and people's thoughts about racism and all this jazz. But one of the
Hmm.
things that was like so I don't know, that's always hard for me is like, you know, you mentioned that like there are so many little kids who like look up to, you know, T'Challa. It's like, he's my hero now. Like I want to
Hmm.
be like
Hmm.
him. Like that's how I feel. That's how I felt watching this movie. And like I'm
Hmm.
just, you know,
Hmm.
some 30-something-year-old white dude, but I love T'Challa. I think he's so inspiring to me, and like I don't give two shits about the color of his skin.
Hmm.
Um, he's just a really amazing character, and you know, super tragic. Like rest in peace, Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman. Like that,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. I mean, this is a bit of a side note, but I couldn't believe it when I heard that he
Yeah.
passed away
Yeah.
because he was really young, right? Like he was in his 30s,
Yeah.
maybe
Late 30s.
late 30s. Uh, so that's tough. That's really rough. But he was amazing in this,
Hmm.
like, and
Hmm.
in Civil War and the other movies that he's in. Super tragic loss, especially because I feel like it, just not just as Black Panther and part of the MCU, but I feel like he came onto the scene and like made a big splash and probably had a really like long and wonderful acting career ahead of him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so yeah, that was a huge bummer. That was a
Yeah.
real, especially because you know I liked him so much. Like he's such a cool and inspiring character, and I've got a lot to say about him, you know, and throughout the course of this movie.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, the next note that I wrote here is a con. It's a negative, and I put the seeds of collapse starting to sprout. And my note is it has to do with like everything is invisible. Like, where have these guys been all this time? Oh, they use an invisible ship, see? And the whole country's invisible.
It's
Yeah,
cloaked.
that's it. And it's like it just barely works for this movie and for like the next couple of movies, but you can kind of start to see where like the the MCU is starting to get so big that it's like collapsing in on itself at this
Uh,
point.
uh-huh.
Where some things are like, "Eh, that doesn't make sense. You guys just made that up to kind of like cover for like, well, where the hell were these people all along? You
Yeah.
know, it's and that's a problem that we'll see a lot more like when we get to Eternals. It's like, well, where the hell were all these people when you know
Right.
Thanos was killing the universe? But anyway, so like, how do you feel about that, Chris? Do you feel like that anything in here was starting to like uh fall apart for you at all, or were you like, no, this is all self-consistent. I love it.
Um, I I'm very superficial. I don't really look too take, I don't dive too deeply into it. I'm just like I just go along for the ride, and if the ride is fun, I'm like if it makes sense. If it's like totally out of the blue, it's like, "Whoa, what the world?" But, for me, cloaking device for them to isolate themselves and they have the special power. Okay, I'll go with it. It's I'm not gonna like, hack it to death, but yeah, for me, I think it works. It's not that big of a deal for me.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And in this movie, it wasn't that big of a deal for me, but but it was like it's the
starting
beginning.
to.
It's the
Yeah,
yeah. It's like
yeah.
things are starting to get a little wacky here.
Sure, 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 sure.
I also put another negative here, and that is the nano suit. Eh, you know that this idea of like having the suit just kind of
Yeah.
you know uh
It's like Iron Man
I don't
suit.
even know how to describe it. Yeah, it's like the same Iron Man nanotech thing where you're just seeing the character, the human being, and then like little ants crawling all over their body to like complete the suit. Um, yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I'm over it. It's not nearly as interesting as the actual physical tactile thing where
Hmm.
they have to
Hmm.
like, you know, if in Tony's situation, he's actually got to like stick his arms into like machines that then put
Yeah,
the suit around him.
yeah.
Um, and it really just feels like it's for convenience. But would you think, did this bother you
It,
in this movie too?
it's weird. Like it doesn't bother me as much as Iron Man's suit. I don't
Hmm.
know why. It's not fair that I don't feel the same disgust. Not no, I'm sorry, not disgust. Disgust is like a really horrible word. Um yeah, I guess because I've seen what Iron Man, his like Mark II, Mark II has to have like all these like mechanical parts to help him take on and off the suit, right? I was conditioned for me to see that. I guess it didn't bother me too much for Black Panther is because that was the first time I've ever seen him putting on
Mm,
that suit. I
hmm.
mean it's I guess it's not as sexy, Iron or Black Panther trying to put on his like super skin tight outfit on. It's like, oh, let me try to get my head above. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, his armor is made of vibranium, I would imagine.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so
It,
it didn't bother me as much as Iron Man's because Iron Man, I want him to like physically putting on the
yeah,
suit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
for Black Panther, it's fine. Apparently, the Wakandans are supposed to have like the best technology ever. It's the
Mm.
most advanced on Earth, so I'm down with them having it. That kind of nanotech. But yeah, keep my Iron Man a little bit more mechanical, please, and not super nanotech-ish. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know it's like a double standard, but that's just the way I feel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I think you argued it very well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree in that like it bothers me less here than it does with Iron Man. And when we get to Infinity War, I've got something really interesting to say about this
Hmm. Hmm.
um, that I noticed, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
Oh. Oh.
um, so stay tuned. But
All
yeah,
right.
I will say the one thing that I did think was really cool about T'Challa's suit is that it can be housed in the necklace, right? That the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
thing is just part of the necklace. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Um, all right, what else do I have in here? Okay, so now we're gonna get into some of the more like potentially controversial stuff, but really, I feel like
Ooh, I like it.
Black Panther was like really smart and like mild in terms of the places that it could have gone in, because obviously like around the world and especially in the United States at the time that this movie came out, things were pretty tense in the
Yeah.
United States, especially,
Hmm. Hmm.
with regard to like racial tensions.
Yeah.
Um, which, really pains my heart that in the year 2022, we're still having these conversations about racism at all. It just sucks that that's even a thing we have to talk about.
Hmm.
You'd
Hmm.
think that we would be past that by now as a global society, but alas, we're not. Um, and so Black Panther does explore some topics and has a little bit of social commentary about that runs along the lines of like, hey, here's a story thread that kind of has a little bit of something to say about uh, that very social topic.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it does a really brilliant job most of the time, especially because it builds up on like the core conflict of the story really kind of revolves around two different mindsets about responding to, you know, the decisions of people in the past and the potential or the realized errors in judgment or prejudices and the ramifications that those decisions and those actions of the people in the past have carried over into the future and that people nowadays are dealing with. For example,
Mm.
namely in this story, you're getting this clash between Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, who's the primary antagonist, and T'Challa, played by Chadwick Boseman. Um, who's the protagonist, who's Black Panther, and they're clashing because Killmonger's got a very different understanding about the way Wakanda should be, the decisions that the Wakandans should be making and their presence in the world. He's got a completely different vision for what that is compared to T'Challa.
Mhm.
And they have this really interesting back and forth, both physically fighting and also philosophically. A lot of their, I felt like a lot of their, when they're like, when the two of them are actually engaged in physical hand-to-hand combat and they're talking to each other about their different perspectives on the world, I thought that was even more interesting than like the fighting was.
Yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
and so yeah, I think they do a really good job most of the time, but there's a couple of points where I'm like, I kind of feel like maybe they forgot their own message. So like for example, I got a couple of notes here, all like really positive things of like dialogue exchanges between Killmonger and T'Challa that'll kind of encapsulate what this conflict is for both of them,
Mhm.
and kind of like how that resolves. And then we'll talk a little bit about it. Um, so there's one part where Killmonger is saying he's trying to like convince T'Challa about like, you know, our people, and T'Challa, and like that you need to be the king, you know, for and represent them. And T'Challa's like, you know, people who are not our own, like like what are you talking about? And Killmonger's like, well, didn't life start here on this continent? Ain't all people your people? T'Challa's like, I am not king of all people. I am king of Wakanda. Um, and then later, T'Challa is telling Killmonger, like, you want to see us become the people you hate so much, divide and conquer as they did. And Killmonger is like, I learn from my enemies, beat them at their own game. And T'Challa is very disappointed and says, you have become them.
Mm.
Um, and T'Challa kind of like finishes the argument by saying, we need to look after each other as if we're one single tribe. This is the line that he says at the very end of the movie. I think this might even be like mid-credits or post-credits scene. And that's kind of like the entire conflict between those two people is Killmonger feel, for very understandable reasons, given like his backstory growing up in you know, an underserved, impoverished part of the United States,
Mhm.
um, having the system completely fail him, having Wakanda in particular betray him and his
Father.
father.
Yeah.
So he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. Totally understandable why he would be really pissed off. And his way of understanding the way to rectify that situation is he sees it through a very racial lens. He wants to do something for all, you know, people of a specific skin type, and he believes that Wakanda has been remiss in its duties at providing and protecting for those people, and has a responsibility to go and exact retribution, violent retribution, on behalf of you know, basically people with dark skin around the planet. And T'Challa doesn't see it that way. T'Challa is like, yes, mistakes were made, especially like one of the hardest things for him is like his dad was the one who directly made the mistake that caused Killmonger to become who he is.
Yeah.
And so T'Challa's perspective, though, is that you essentially you can't treat all people like you can't just assume that all people are can be brought under a single banner in this regard. You can't and you can't fix the the crimes of the past with crimes of the present.
Right.
Um, and I thought that was awesome because like that is it's one of the things that makes. Sorry, I know I've been
No,
rambling.
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no. Keep going. Keep going.
get to my point
That's
here.
great.
One of the things that makes T'Challa so cool to me, and Black Panther in particular, such an amazing hero, is it. And now that I think about it, even as far back as like Civil War, is he has like every opportunity and every right to be just like completely unhinged, but
Mhm.
he's so reserved and strong and like takes a deep breath and thinks through the situation and has just such a clear head and this like really calm, logicked perspective on the world and the situation and the conflict. Um, it's just so inspiring to me. And I completely agree with T'Challa and his perspective. That line at the end of the movie just nails it for me. That we need to look after each other as if we were all one single tribe,
Mm,
and not continue to just be so focused on our differences and our skin colors and trying to lump people into groups based on these superficial attributes or characteristics about themselves that maybe have like nothing to do with who they are as an individual.
right.
Um, so yeah, the movie kind of like goes there and it
Hmm.
explores those
Hmm.
things, but it doesn't get in the way of the of having a rip-roaring superhero kind of it really feels like a James Bond movie to me in a lot of places because you're kind of
Mm,
you travel to Korea and then you go to these other
yeah.
places. But anyway, as far as like the social commentary stuff, those are kind of my thoughts. But I'd love to know what you think, Chris.
Yeah, no, I thought this was, I mean, I think this movie came out, I can't remember if it was before or after the whole George Floyd
For
situation. Was it before?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Um,
because
yeah,
yeah,
'cause
this movie came out in 2018, I think, right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
right.
one thing that you said, like, T'Challa is basically like, we got to take a look, we got to take care of our own as, one tribe and not, separate, you know, different entities and all. Uh, However, I think our society, just in general, I mean, this is more a commentary on our society and not really the movie, is that unless like a real fucking Thanos comes down and tries to destroy Earth, unless when Independence Day happens, we're still going to be divided. Until Independence Day happens, like aliens comes down and tries to kill us, that's when we are actually going to become one nation, one not one nation, just one civilization, one race, right?
Mm,
Until that happens, we're just going to find ways to separate ourselves to, keep ourselves distanced from, apart from one another. But yeah, until Thanos or aliens comes and invades us, I think we're still going to just gonna have our little cliques, because that's what human nature, that's how we are. And because I remember like when I was in elementary school, Michael, that I played with all sorts of races of people. Like I play with white kids, black kids, brown kids, me, Asian kids, uh, but it wasn't until I got to middle school then I started seeing all these like different cliques hanging out. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm Asian. I should hang out with the Asian people, right? I don't know about with you, but that's how it was in Vegas at the time when I went to middle school. It's like all the Mexicans hung out with Mexican, white people hang out with white people, Asians hang out with Asians, and and so forth and so on, right? And that's a shitty thing. I don't think that's a good thing in particular. Uh, Instead, I would rather people being like, oh, the chess club with the chess club and basketball with basketball and a musician with music. That's more like it, right? That's a little bit because we all hang out with our own interests. But yeah. So, anyways, that's just a commentary on our society from my POV. Yeah, I think this movie is good. It did touch on the whole, it's not, it really shouldn't be us versus them. It really should, and I agree. It's like Wakanda has all the technology and it could actually be helping other, nations. That I agree with, but I kind of understand where Killmonger was coming from, but at the same time, his method of doing things was absolutely wrong. But what he wants is I totally get it and I understand it. And it's like no one's right and no one's, I mean, obviously someone is wrong, right? But philosophical is like, I believe T'Challa's father's name is King T'Chaka?
Chaka. Hmm.
T'Chaka, right? Yeah, he was wrong in the sense where he kind of just isolated, Wakanda from everyone, right? And there's no shared in technology or anything or benefits. It's just about the cells. So the whole isolation thing, I remember at at the end of the movie, if I remember correctly, um, uh, T- T'Challa was not happy with T'Chaka about, the whole isolation thing. I don't remember if I. It's been a very long time since I watched this movie. But yeah, if I remember correctly, he was not happy that his father made the decisions.
Yeah, no, you remember very accurately. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the, I think that's one of the sort of like flip perspectives from T'Challa versus Killmonger. Is Killmonger wants to use Wakanda to basically conquer the world,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, whereas T'Challa's like, we're not going to do that, but we aren't going to hide anymore. We're going to actually try to help. So they create like outreach programs to try to help others without, using force.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And home plate 55 is here. How are you doing, man? Thank you so much
Hey,
for being here. Yeah,
welcome.
we're welcome, welcome. We're talking about Black Panther tonight, and we're going to rate this in our list very soon. But yeah, we're kind of going in depth into the movie. Michael has done an amazing job analyzing this movie. So yeah, please hang
Thanks, man.
out
You're doing great
and
too.
oh, thank you. I'm trying my best to remember the movie because it's been years since I've seen this. But yeah, please
Yeah,
continue,
if you saw
Michael.
it when it came out, it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. I I
Um,
I remember like sitting in the theater and I I did not have the best theater experience because the people who were there, they were they were very happy to be a part of this celebration, this movie, but man, they were so obnoxious. They were like throwing things around they were throwing
oh my
candies and
gosh,
popcorns, and it nearly hit the girl sitting next to me. I was just like, holy
what?
cow. Yeah, they were like being very, very disrespectful of the
Oh,
movie
that
theater
sucks.
environment. Yeah, and I was like, dude, you guys, I want to celebrate this with you, but please stop, being so, you know, like
Disruptive.
disruptive and rude and but other than that, yeah, this that before even the movie started, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. However, the
Mm,
movie was so good that it made me forget about all those guys.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of some of the other like really good things, I've got a note here for the production design and the
Oh
costumes.
God, yeah.
Yeah, the sets in this movie are incredible, and the costumes are just as incredible. Um, so yeah, like what do you think about the production design and costumes, Chris?
I thought it was so like authentic, like even like their spaceships, if you look underneath their spaceships, it looks like a freaking mask, like an African mask. And I
Oh
thought that
wow,
was like
I
so
didn't even
cool.
notice that.
Yeah, yeah. If you look at like the trailers or the movies, like whenever they do the camera pans up and the ship is like landing, you could totally
Uh-huh.
tell the bottom of the ship, it looks like an
Mm,
African mask or like a Black Panther mask or
cool.
some type of tribal mask, and it's so well done. I remember being on a vendor a project. I was hired by this company that creates interactive experiences based on very very popular IPs, and Black Panther was one of them, and they wanted me to create a space that was very Black Panther. I mean, it was straight up just it's supposed to be Black Panther. They had the rights to use the Marvel Studios IP of Black Panther, and then so what I had to
Hmm.
do is I had to look at do a whole bunch of research on like the details of all the all the movie sets, the graphic design, the topography that they used, that they created of the
Oh my
Wakanda
gosh.
topography. It's so intricate, very very beautifully designed, and uh Marvel does a really good job of caring about these type of things, that they actually go the extra miles. They take trips to Africa, they do their research, and then create like all these, even looking at the poster, the graphic designs behind the all the people. It's so strong and it's very authentic, very 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 authentic, and I have nothing but respect for those creators. Kevin Feige, who's in charge, I think he's like the guy that holds Marvel Studios together and really cares about this product. And I think Black Panther definitely, cares a lot about making sure that it represents, the black culture in a very respectful way. Same thing with, Shang-Chi that we'll talk about later. I mean, that's like the movie for, people like me. It represents the Asians, right? But for Black Panther, I think they did such an incredible job, you know, creating all the the look and feel, the aesthetics, the functionality. Because again, before I had no idea who or what Black Panther was, but after watching this movie, I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is pretty badass. And I have to give credit to Nick Smith as well as Billy Ullman, because they were the two that was like. When we were at Disney at the time, they were both giving like a little presentations about Black Panther, because I've never heard about Black Panther, and it was because of those two that gave me an inkling of like, oh, it's okay, so there's a character of Black Panther, but I didn't realize how amazed balls the Black Panther really was until I saw the movie and all the care of the production design. Yeah. Sorry, I've been going on and on. Michael, how do you feel about it?
No, I agree. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, there were multiple moments while rewatching it again where I was like, "Oh my God, look at that set! That's just incredible!" Or, "Geez,
Mm-mm-mm.
those costumes are just amazing." Um, and I don't even know if I have a note here for it, but that also reminds me. Same thing with the music. So much of the
Yeah.
music has these like this recurring motif of these African drums,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
have become so iconic. Even in like the next movie, there are moments where you hear those drums and like instantly you're like, "Oh, Wakanda,
Yep.
baby, here we go."
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, so yeah, phenomenal, and yeah, there's like it's really neat to see so much African culture weaved into the artistry of the
Mhm.
movie. Even the
Mhm.
like I forget what it's called. There's like this afterlife realm or something
Oh, yeah.
that right like where the if you take the purple flower drink,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
can
Yeah.
like temporarily go to this place and like actually meet with the ancestors, and it's like on this beautiful African savanna
Yeah.
at twilight.
Right.
um Man, yeah, it's all so good.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
beautiful.
I couldn't say more positive things about that. Um, all right, a couple of pet peeves. These are pretty minor, so they're not going to take too many points off. But at some point, T'Challa like gets severe, like mortally wounded. Assume that he's dead. We, as the audience and the other characters, assume that he's dead. Turns out he's not. And he's up in the mountains, and the like mountain tribe has been keeping him alive, and they have him like buried in snow. Um, and the chief of the mountain tribe is like, "Oh yeah, don't take him out of the snow because that's the only thing that's keeping him alive."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "What? what? What about like frostbite and hypothermia? This doesn't make any sense, but okay, I guess they're going with like a cryogenic freezing kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought it was dumb. Um, but not enough to make me go like, "Oh, this movie's stupid." It's more
Uh-huh.
just like, you guys could have done something different with that, but
Uh.
whatever.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I don't know. Did you remember that, Chris? Did that bother you at
Yeah.
all, or?
No, didn't bother me at all. Like you said, it's like a cryogenic direction.
Yeah,
It's like
like,
you
oh,
gotta
it's
you gotta keep him
slowing down
cool.
his metabolism so he doesn't die as fast as he otherwise would.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Another thing that I didn't like that I thought was really silly, and it didn't have to be. The idea isn't silly, but the execution of it I thought looked a little janky, and that was
Mhm.
the battle rhinos, the battle rhinoceros, where they
Mm-mm.
like are riding the rhinos into battle and fighting and stuff. Um, cool idea, and the armor on the rhinos looks pretty neat, but and I don't know if it was just like bad CGI. I don't think it was because it looked pretty good. Um, it just felt goofy and silly to me. Like that felt like a much sillier movie or a much
Mm.
sillier movie world than the one that we were actually in. So I didn't really like it when the rhinos were like kind of involved in the fighting.
Hmm.
That pulled me out a little bit, made me go like, ooh, that like disrupted my suspension of disbelief for
Right.
a little minute there. That bother you at all, or
No, no, I
no?
thought
You're
that
cool with
was,
that?
yeah, I was cool with it. They looked
Ah,
real.
rhinos.
Well, I wasn't like, yeah, right. I'm not too, I don't really care for rhinos and whatnot, but it was cool seeing them, how they're utilized and everything. And I thought it was really cute
Hmm.
when um oh God, Okoye stepped in front of the rhino
Hmm.
and the rhino stopped and licked her. I thought that was a really cute moment. So yeah, the
Yeah.
rhino
Yep.
didn't really bother me. I will ask Michael that that the guy who is have you ever thought of that guy who was actually in charge of that rhinos? The faction. He was T'Challa's like childhood friend. I forget his name.
Hmm.
He
I
was
forgot his
also
name too.
he was also
Okoye's.
Okoye's fiance or husband or whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, do you think he what still lives, or do you think he was like executed because he basically like had like
Wakabi.
mutiny?
Um, I can't. I'm pretty sure he lives because I think he's in Infinity War.
I I don't think he's in
Yeah.
Infinity War.
No?
He's in Infinity War. I don't think I didn't see him at all.
Maybe I'm misremembering it, but yeah, I don't know.
M'Baku was in Infinity War, the
Hmm.
gorilla mask guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's
The
definitely in
chief of the like
Infinity
mountain
War.
tribe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't
you
think.
might be right.
Yeah, because I watched a review of people saying like, yeah, we don't see him anymore, and he basically
Yeah, you're right.
helped Killmonger, try to overthrow T'Challa, and they speculate that they actually executed him, so that's why he's
Oh
not
my
there
God.
anymore. Yeah, because I was just like, holy cow, I didn't really realize that. That's insane. Captain Blue Blue asked, didn't the lead actor die? Yes, yes. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman
Sadly,
passed
yes.
away way too soon. He passed away way too soon, unfortunately.
I
Um,
think he died of cancer.
yeah, colon cancer. Yeah, and
Oof.
he actually he had colon cancer when he was filming End Games too. So
Oh
he
my
was
God.
like a trooper, man. And I heard that, or reports say that, I mean, people say that he was in pain and going under treatment during that time too, but he didn't tell anyone at all. He just did his work and just,
Wow.
stayed as silent, and it's quite admirable. And, it's like, holy cow, this guy is like a freaking hardcore trooper.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Um, but so I've got two more notes here.
Yeah.
One big plus, the finale in Black Panther's huge. Like I think prior to Infinity War and Endgame, it's probably the biggest, like most blockbuster finale of any of the MCU movies. Um, it it's got like multiple things happening simultaneously. There's like, Ross is in like he's remote piloting one of the ships trying to go and shoot down the other
Uh-huh.
escaping Wakandan ships that have the weapons. There's like a battle on the battlefield. There's something happening in the like lab and T'Challa is fighting Killmonger. Like and it's all spectacular. Like it all just
Hmm.
looks
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool. Like, what'd you think of that finale, Chris?
I thought the finale between Killmonger and Black Panther was the shittiest fight scene ever.
Mm.
Like the CG was god
Wow.
awful. It was
Mm.
absolutely awful. And I actually looked into it. Apparently they started to run out of budget during that portion of the
Oh.
movies, so they kind of just did what they could. But yeah, it looked like two Power Rangers like trying to kill each other, basically. And
Mm.
yeah, I didn't like it the how it looked, but I mean the story wise it's fine. And oh, one thing that I wanted to say is like their ship design and everything. again, going back to the production design, like the
Hmm.
ships, it looks like it might actually looks like a fly, like a it's
Yeah,
not a beetle, but like
like a
a
damselfly.
yeah, or maybe like a dragonfly or is it a
Hmm.
dragonfly? Yeah, and it's so beautiful because I remember like when all the Killmonger ordered all the planes to deliver all the weapons. They got into plane and then the planes like went backwards and then flew upwards, and I thought that was so cool. And like trying to um it's just a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, the
Oh, you
production stuff
got it.
is really good, and yeah, the ending it was okay. It was okay. I like the battle. The battles is really nice, and yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, I um mostly agree. The only thing that I would say is the special effects with, yeah, the battle that you're talking about between Killmonger and Black Panther are not the best, um but I didn't think they were that bad. And but maybe that's because I was like, as I had mentioned earlier in the stream, I was kind of so enamored with the arguing, the dialogue between those two characters that I guess I kind of forgave some really bad
Mm-mm,
CGI. But that's a
mm-mm.
uh, that's a whole other can of worms we can maybe open up another time. But I don't know if you've heard about the special effects situation with Marvel and the MCU. Have you heard at all
Yeah,
about this?
yeah. It's not good. It's they are like killing the VFX houses. They are
Yeah.
pricing them as a very low rate, and so they essentially expect a lot from them and with very little pay. And so now the
Mhm.
VFX has to like close down or go bankrupt because they just don't have the resources to pay their folks, and but they're obligated to deliver the special effects, and it's a shit situation. It's absolutely awful. Is that what you're talking about, Michael?
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So yeah, maybe that was
Mm.
a little bit of what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the final note that I have actually does not pertain to this movie. It pertains to Black Panther's sequel.
Mm.
And it's just a little minor thing that I was kind of like, no, well, man. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong, but since obviously Chadwick Boseman, the lead actor, passed away and cannot reprise his role as Black Panther, that mantle is being passed on to a new character to portray the Black Panther, and I believe it's Shuri. It's his sister, right?
I've heard multiple rumors that it's not just Shuri, but we might be getting multiple Black Panthers. Like,
Oh, wow.
M'Baku
Cool.
might be
Okay.
like Lupita Nyong'o might be
Uh,
a Black Panther. It's just a whole bunch of different Black Panther.
okay.
That's a rumor. I don't
Okay.
know how true that is, but yes, currently, it's speculation that because when you look at uh, um T'Challa's sister, she has like little dots on her
Yeah,
face
yeah,
for war
yeah.
paint.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same formation dots on the in the trailers that we see for Black Panther too. So
Got
right
it.
now it looks like it is her. And also if you look at the toys actually say that it is Shuri.
Oh.
So basically the toys just like
Whoops.
but yeah, they toys usually like spoils everything. So
Oh
but
man.
yeah. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that, Michael? How do you feel
Well,
about giving it to Shuri?
uh, not crazy, really. I love her as a character. I think she was awesome in all the movies that she's been in up to this point. But like, very specifically in the role of being the techie, brainy, cerebral character who's really good behind the scenes with tech and science and using her brain. Um, not I my note here that I wrote is I understand that they're obviously the filmmakers are in a tough position to have to like replace Chadwick Boseman, but that seems like a really weird choice. Like if you were asking me to like go through a list of like, okay, which of the characters that we still have could potentially be a replacement Black Panther to take on the mantle and become the Black Panther. She would have been kind of low on the list. Like at the very like I would have thought like why not Okoye? Like she's super awesome, like amazing
Hmm.
badass.
Hmm.
Why not her? And if not her, Nakia is also Black Panther's love interest.
Hmm. Hmm.
She's also really cool, strong-willed. Like both those characters seem to embody more of what the Black Panther seems to be. This sort of like more like typical classical hero who is wise and strong, but not the smartest and not the strongest. Kind of like the sort of the Mario, if you will, of
Hmm.
heroes. So I don't know. Shuri seemed like a really bizarre choice to me, but it sounds like it's not confirmed, and it sounds like based on the rumors, maybe there are other Black Panthers. So maybe my worry is unfounded. But I wrote that down. I was like, I don't know about that. What are your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, well, to me, it makes sense that Shuri is the next one story-wise because she is, related. She's the next in the bloodline, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming that it gets passed down. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. It's the strongest that survives, right? I mean, they had the
Oh
whole
yeah, whoever
battle scene, right?
challenges.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's not. Yeah, it's not bloodline then. Yeah.
But I guess if
Hmm.
they wanted to give it to somebody else, they would have to kill Shuri, right?
Uh.
If the writers were like, it's well, I don't know. Like since if the current Black Panther dies, but not in combat, not in the like the ritual combat to
Right.
decide who's the next one, then
Right.
yeah, then what happens? Does
I don't know.
that's
I honestly
unclear.
don't know. Yeah. Like I would be okay with, M'Baku being the Black Panther because he is also kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a tribe leader as well, and it seemed like him and T'Challa were buddy buddies because in the beginning of the film they weren't buddy buddies, they were
Yeah.
adversaries kind of, and but it's funny at the end he was the ally and yet his best friend became the enemy. So I love that switcheroo. Whenever movies do that, I'm just like, oh god, that's a trope, but I love it. I love that scene, that trope. Yeah, M'Baku is really cool. It would have been really awesome. I mean, I don't know how they would have made it work if Killmonger was actually somehow the Black Panther. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if they brought him back to life. I don't know how story wise that might work. I mean, it could have been like you're really bending backwards in order to get like a A-list
Mm-hmm.
star back in the game. But I don't know. Yeah.
So
Hold
yeah,
on.
we'll
How do I feel about it? I don't know. I've heard that this movie pays a lot of respect and homage to uh, Chadwick Boseman. And I heard that whatever is going to happen is going to be good, regardless of who is the Black Panther. Apparently, who is the Black Panther is not the most important thing. The most important thing is actually the story and whatever. Uh, and so again, the rumor of multiple Black Panthers doesn't bother me either way. Or just one if it's Shuri, that doesn't bother me. For me, as long as it's a good story, I don't really care. Yeah. Sorry. I will say though, like, Black Panther, it's kind of interesting how they tied the storyline with Chadwick Boseman's passing, and a lot of people don't like the fact that they killed off T'Challa because Chadwick Boseman died, right? Uh,
mm,
and I don't. For me, it would be so weird to see Black Panther being portrayed by another character. I know the argument. What about Rhodes? Rhodey. It
sure.
was it was, first it was my God, I can't remember his name. I can't remember both of their name. Um ah
Well,
um
Don Cheadle
Thank
replaces.
you.
I can't remember the first guy either.
Don Cheadle
I'll look
and
it up.
thank you. Yeah, like I
We had to
guess
do this when
it's
we talked about Iron Man too, even though like I
yeah.
just looked that up.
Um
Terrence Howard or something? Is
Terrace
that
House,
right?
yes. Yep, 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 yep.
There
Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
go.
Cheeto replaced Howard, and for me at that time, I had no issues with it. Maybe because it's a secondary, tertiary character, supporting character, I didn't really mind that
Mm,
much. I was
mm-hmm.
just like, oh, okay, that's fine. But here, Chadwick is such a huge, huge iconic character that if someone else plays him, for me at least, it would be it would be very, very, what's the word? Um, Disruption to
Mm,
my brain. I
mm-hmm.
God, sorry, my head's not working right now. It would not be believable. It's like, whoa, all of a sudden it's like this new guy as T'Challa. That's weird. But at the same time, I'm sad to see T'Challa, go. But at the same time, I like the fact that, they are honoring Chadwick Boseman, and, essentially T'Challa died with Boseman, and I'm I'm at peace with that. I am okay. A lot of people are not okay with that. They're like, why didn't they just, recast someone? And I'm just like, I'm okay with them, letting T'Challa go with Boseman, because I think he did such a good job. And again, this whole cultural significance of this movie, and everyone that saw him, they're like, Wakanda forever, and he is a huge representation to me. I mean, obviously, I'm not black, so I don't have a lot of power to say this kind of stuff, but I thought that he was such a huge, iconic character that represented a huge. y- uh, It's a really, really good positive, thing for the black community, that he was the Black Panther. Everyone looked up to him, and for him to be replaced with someone else, to me, it would be really, really weird. But yeah, what do you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, yeah, I think I mostly agree with you. I mean, I don't have like super strong opinions about it because, well, yeah, I don't. If there are people out there who have really strong opinions about it, I'd kind of like maybe defer to somebody else to make that decision then, because for me, I agree with you. I think like, yeah, that seems like the right decision. Go ahead
Mm,
and
mm, mm.
change the storyline because that's less disruptive to the audience members to see like, well, wait a minute, who's this character? That's not Black Panther,
Yeah,
but everybody's calling him T'Challa, huh? Um, so that's like disruptive to the audience member. Um, and also I think it is kind of cool that they're like, the, it's like a sports team retiring a jersey, right? They're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
nobody else can have that number anymore because
Right.
we're gonna save it for that player was always that position.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So yeah, so like this particular incarnation of Black Panther as T'Challa in the MCU is played by
Mhm.
Chadwick Boseman, and that's it.
Right.
And we'll write something new, some new storyline where we have somebody else playing Black Panther. I'm
Yeah.
totally fine with that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
people who
Cause
are really mad about it, like I don't know, that's
yeah.
something else.
Cause imagine if like Tony Stark was like a totally different actor. It's like, Tom Cruise all of a sudden is like, uh, wait, this is weird. My brain is hurting.
Oh man, I love Tom Cruise, but he would have been a terrible Iron Man.
But apparently he was uh I don't know where I saw this, but he was also considered to be Iron Man. But I'm so glad Robert
Wow,
Downey
real? Oh
Jr.
my
Yeah, got
gosh.
got it instead. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Robert Downey's the iconic Tony Stark
Yeah.
now, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like that does happen. I know, like in the Harry Potter movies, the actor who played Dumbledore for the first couple of movies,
Mm, mhm, mhm.
he died and
Yeah.
got replaced. And in that case, though, they really didn't have much of a choice because those books were already written, and
Yep.
Dumbledore plays a huge role in the later stories.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, obviously they had to do that, and of course it was jarring for audience members, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
So
But to me, I didn't really realize it until someone told me.
yeah,
I was just like,
really?
oh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Cause I know the original first, second. I believe the original Dumbledore was in part 1 and part 2, and then part 3 was the new guy, if I remember. Um,
I
but
don't
yeah,
remember.
I really liked the actor for the original one, the original Dumbledore, because
Mm-hmm.
because I remember him playing like in a lot of like biblical movies that I watched when I was in, back at church. He starred as like Moses, and I was just like, oh, oh no, I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham. He played Abraham,
Mm.
and I was just like, oh, that's cool. This is the same guy. That's awesome. And then I heard him pass away later on. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that they changed out the actor.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you're right. He did the first two movies, and then
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Um, all right. Well, I don't think I have any more notes on Black Panther. Should we give our rankings now?
Sure. I have a feeling I know where you're gonna put. Yeah, how about you guess mine and I guess yours?
Okay. Yours is definitely S tier. I think it's probably above Iron Man, but below Civil War.
Above Iron Man, below Civil War. Okay, okay.
Yep.
And this
And
is
then
where
yeah,
you.
where do you? Well, I've been debating where to put this. Um,
Let me think where you would put this. I think for you, it is like this. All right. So that's what we think for each other. And hold on, let me think about yours, and you could think about mine. Uh,
I'm quite confident in my guess for yours. Final
hold on.
answer.
Really?
Yep.
Really? All right,
Yep.
hold on.
Gotta hope I'm not way off.
No, no, you're not way off.
Coming
I'm just
here,
no, no.
talking a big game.
I could say you're right in the S tier. I'm just trying to figure out which is
Oh, the ordering.
the ordering. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. You're right. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. 'Cause if I had to pick what to watch, would I watch Black Panther versus Iron Man? I would probably pick Black Panther. Um, yeah, yeah. All right. For you, how about you? How about you? Did I get yours right?
I don't want to be a dick, but um,
Oh no!
I, no. I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's fine.
say you're
That's
you're
fine.
close.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I would put this at the very top of A tier, above Civil War, but as much as I love Black Panther, not quite S tier for me.
Uh-uh-uh. All right, hold on. Let me do some rejiggering.
Almost made it there though. Like for a long time, I had it at the bottom of S tier, and I was like, does it stay there? I move it, but
Interesting. Interesting.
it had just a few too many little of those little pet peevy things where it's like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that's a little bit dumb. Like,
mm-hmm.
that's a little bit dumb. Um, each one of those individually probably isn't enough, but there are enough of them that kind of like snapped me out of it enough times. I was like, especially when we get to Infinity War,
Mm.
which considering how long we've run, maybe we save that for next time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, because I've got a lot to say about Infinity War.
Good, good, good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome back, Heavy. I'm back meal prep for the week done.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. I like to do it
Wow.
that way
Good
too.
job.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole
smart.
week.
Yeah, you just cook it once and eat it 7 times. So I think that's great. Captain Blue says, uh,
Nice.
start getting that butt camo once a year after 40, guys.
Yep.
Most can be found early. Oh, you're talking about the colonoscopy. Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really smart. Um, okay. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah. So let's take a look at audience critics. Oh, this might be easy. This is gonna be so easy. I put
And guess is welcome. If you guys
yeah.
want to guess where they rank them.
So Captain Blue Blue Heavy home plates, please let me know where you guys think Black Panther lands on this chart. Is it S, A, B, C, D, F? Let me know, and I will put it there. But for now, let me
Whoa.
think.
While you're doing that, I need to double check that I got this right because one of these is really shocking.
Okay. Um, Captain Blue says S and A. Okay, so he says S and A. I'm gonna say it's both S's. SS. Wait.
Oh,
You said shocking.
mm-hmm.
That was a
I
huge
sure
clue.
did.
So it's not SS then. It can't be SS because if it was not shocking, then then it would be SS.
Unless I'm just crazy shocked that both the critics and the audience agreed for once.
Don't try to trick me. Don't try to trick me, man.
Oh
Don't do
man.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So I'm gonna say because you give me a little bit of a tidbit there, I'm gonna say it's AS. And then Captain Blue says SA. So we are flipped.
Wow.
We are flipped.
This
I say
is
it's AS. Captain Blue says SA. And let me know, Heavy on home plate, if anyone else in the chat has predictions, please let me know.
all right. This one's real spicy.
Is it really?
The Rotten Tomatoes score. Well, yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes score for the critics for Black Panther. S tier.
Oh, damn it! I had it in S. Damn it! All right. You-
Original
Oh,
instinct was on, Chris.
yeah.
Captain Blue
Damn it.
Blue had it right.
All right.
Do you guys want to guess where it goes in there?
Oh man,
I'm
this
gonna
is
double
so
check to make
difficult.
sure we
This is so
got these
difficult.
all.
This is so difficult. I believe. Heavy says SB. SB. Are you kidding me? Really? You think the audience is going to give it B? Wow. Okay. So I'm saying it's S. Captain Blue says A. Gentleman says B. Wow. All right.
Wait, are we doing the audience score now, or are we
No,
doing
no, no,
where
no, no, no.
the?
We
Okay.
we we just put the we just put Heavy's
Got it,
choices
got it.
in there.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I got
So
confused. I looked
right
away for a
now,
second, came back like, wait, what?
yeah. No, we're good. You're good. You're good. So I think Black Panther in the realm of S. Oh God, this is so hard. It's better than Avengers. Gosh, somewhere near here. It's probably It's probably above Spider-Man. Okay, final answer. It's right between Thor and Spider-Man.
Queen Thor and Spider-Man. That is incorrect.
Oh, what? All right, I give up.
Above Iron Man, all the way at the top.
Whoa. Wow. That's wow. All right. There you go.
The critics really, really liked Black Panther.
Wow, okay. So, wow, finally I agree with the critics. All right. Audience score. Essentially the three of us has covered the board. We have selection from S, A, and B. All
Would it
right.
be crazy if I told you that you were all three wrong?
Uh, no, we cannot be all wrong because there's no way it could be C. No way audience score is C.
C tier, baby.
You're
Yeah, I
no,
know, right? I shit you not.
wait. Are you
I'm
no
not
way.
joking. It's C tier.
What?
Yeah,
C
I know.
tier? Captain Blue says, I bet politics ruined the score. Oh, Captain Blue, you might be right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a very good chance that a lot of those reviews are just like review bombs where people are just angry.
Oh. C? Are you
Yeah,
serious? C?
yep, quite serious.
Oh wow. Okay. If it has to live in C, it has to be the the best one. Are you
Nope.
kidding me?
Yep.
What is going on here?
But one bit of silver lining, they liked it more than Iron Man 3,
All right, so it's above Iron
but
Man
not
3.
as much as Age of Ultron.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right?
Heavy
Yeah, I
says I
told you things were gonna get real spicy.
it's so weird. Heavy says I remember at release it was Midnight Murder in the numbers like lower
Oh
30%.
my gosh.
What?
Wow, really? Holy crap.
Uh
I guess they just
this
review
is
bombed it.
this is new to me. Can I ask this question? Like is it because racist review bombed it? Is that what happened? Like are there haters out there?
Oh, I'm sure that a portion of this, yeah, absolutely, were people who are just angry racist people. There's probably also a lot of trolls in there.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh man, my night has been rocked. We were all wrong. That's
And that's not the last of the spiciness from the audience.
Are you
So,
kidding me?
uh,
Wow.
yeah, get ready for future streams. Things are gonna get real wacky. Though,
Uh,
to be fair, I think that one's
the the the
well,
craziest.
that one's probably the craziest. There are other
All
ones
right.
in there that are also crazy, but this one's probably the craziest.
Yeah. No way. At sea level? Really? Audience
Yeah,
don't know what the hell
so
they're talking about.
yeah, the audience score for Black Panther was 79%, and
Hmm
Age of
hmm
Ultron was 82%.
Age of Ultron was all right. I mean, again, like it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It's just, like a C, average, right? But Black Panther
Hmm.
is not average. Black Panther is amazing.
Yeah. Yep. I
Mm.
agree.
Well, my world has been rocked today, so shit. And nothing makes sense in this crazy ass world. Uh, wow.
Damn
Okay,
crazy people.
I know. So these right here are our top S and A for myself and Michael. So if we were to watch a movie tonight, we would pick Thor Ragnarok first.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That Michael, awesome job on your analysis of this movie, and your notes are really, really good. And I don't mind doing one movie a stream because if we go deep dive into it, I think that's freaking awesome, dude.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
then, let's do that again next time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially because I I think I made more notes for Infinity War than anything I've watched so far.
I
Like
can I
two or
ask?
three times as many notes.
Do you
Sorry,
like
you were
do
gonna
you
ask something?
yeah do you like Infinity War better or do you like Endgame better? Or maybe you're not gonna tell me.
Hmm.
It's up to you if you want to let
I
me know.
don't know. Should I tell you? I have a very definitive answer to that. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
That's it's not a toss up for me. It's not a like ooh.
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
There's one that's a clear winner out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
That's good. That's
I'll
good.
just tease you with that.
Yeah, yeah. Leave it there. Leave it there. Nice. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Heavy. Thank you, Blue Blue. Thank you, Home Plate for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And before we leave, we're gonna take a one last look. Oh wow. At Gentleman
We
Heavy.
got a bunch more
He,
art.
yeah. So let me save this
Sweet.
first, and then I will close this, and then I will close that. And let me show this thing right here. And holy cow, this looks
Whoa.
really, really good. Wow, that rust paint is incredible.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that. So is that technical rust paint?
What
Or is this
what
like
do you say? He says, this is not mine, but from the buddy that I mentioned in the last post. He went all out with the texturing on this with heavy rust and
There
moss.
we go.
I'm really proud to be able to work alongside him, though as per their wishes, since they don't like being mentioned and want to stay anonymous, I won't name them. Got it, got it. Also another 3D print, note the layer lines. Right. And yeah, totally understandable. But if you can deliver the message, tell him, "Oh my gosh, this looks like really incredible," and that
Yeah.
paint job, wow. Is it crazy that I think
Yeah,
these
loving it.
paints might be toxic? Because
Oh,
it's
geez.
I don't know. It just seems like I don't know, like
How could it
corrosive.
be that magical and not be also giving you cancer?
Yeah. Holy cow. This looks awesome. And let me just Heavy says likely yes. Oh God, I don't want to hear that. Oh geez. Captain Blue says the paints are acrylic and water based. Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah,
Man,
I
this
don't
looks
I don't
awesome.
think they could sell it to you if it had toxic material in it.
Yeah. Wow.
At least not like not consumer grade.
Right.
There's definitely, industrial grade stuff you can get that's very poisonous.
Yeah. Wow, this is so good. I'm gonna open up original for this one. Sorry, computer. You're gonna work extra hard. You're gonna work. Wow, look at this. Whoa, jeez.
Wow. Look at that.
Can I zoom out? There you go. Wow, look at that moss and the rust texture.
Yeah, it's super cool. This tank kind of reminds, well, I mean, it's really a completely different type of tank, but it's got a couple of features that remind me of the tank at the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Mm. This is a it's a World War I inspired tank, right? I think. I'm not a war buff, but I think the shape it kind of reminds me of World War I tanks. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not a tank buff either. Um, I would think more World War II. I don't think I think the tanks for World War I were pretty primitive if there were any. Captain
Cap
Lulu agrees with
says,
you. Very World War I and interwar inspired.
yeah,
So
okay,
I
nice,
stand corrected.
yeah, nice. This is awesome. Heavy says it's modeled after the World War I British mail tank. There you go. Yeah,
Mail
because
tank. Interesting.
because I remember like World War I tanks, like the shape is like a weird trapezoidal thingy
Oh,
majiggy like
interesting.
this. Yeah, because I remember saying to myself, I'm like, that is so weird, but it's also very cool. The wedge treadmills are World War I. The gun is late World War II. Ah, man, you guys are like
There you
so
go.
smart. You guys are like war buffs, man. Very cool. Very cool. You guys are awesome. So talented. Again, thank you so much, Heavy, for sharing this. Every single time I see this work, I'm just like, oh gosh, my hands are so itchy. I want to do it too. Captain Blue says they are that shape to be not able to get stuck traversing trenches.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's functional. Heavy says they were very long to deal with trench warfare. Yep. Man, you guys know your history. I, however, am not a history buff. I wish I paid a little bit more attention back in school. But yeah,
Yeah, I
this is
know
cool.
very little about tanks and
Yeah.
whatnot.
But yeah, thank you guys so much
Rock
for
on, guys.
yeah, please continue you know sharing your freaking amazing art and as well as everything that you guys are creating every single day. Heavy is, he has a full-time job and he still has time to do this. And I'm just, floored by the, very talent that he has and meticulousness that he shows every single time where he, uploads this thing. And same with Captain Blue Blue. He's, doing all these like, you know, uh, super low bit art models, and it looks so cool. Oh, by the way, how's your ship coming along, Captain Blue Blue? Because I remember we looked at the thumbnails, remember, and then we gave a little bit of feedback. Did you do
Oh yeah,
any
yeah,
more
yeah.
designs for that? I'm curious. I'm curious. If you did, feel free to upload it, and we'll take a look at it next time. Yeah. But thank you guys all so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. And I don't know about you, Michael, but I am starving. So after this, I will be eating a super late dinner.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep pretty soon.
Oh, so you're back on this good schedule, the regular schedule.
Yeah, like exercising more regularly has somehow magically made me awake like a normal person, like
Nice,
almost instantly.
nice. Well, that's awesome, man. All right, guys. We will raid out tonight, and the person I will raid out is Jason Art, and I'm curious as to see what he is doing. Uh, but we will raid now. Please take care of yourself, take care of each other, eat, and it is getting cooler now, so please, wear the appropriate clothes, all right? So we will see you next time, guys. Gentleman Heavy, Captain Blow Blow, Home Plate. Thank you guys for being here and sharing your amazing art with us. We will see you Wednesday. All right, bye guys. We're gonna raid out. All right, see ya.